Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to West London and the G-Tech Community Stadium, where Brentford will entertain Fulham in a West London derby and has big implications in the race for European places. Well, Brentford have dropped 4 points from winning positions late on in their last two home games, without which would have seen them just a point behind Liverpool in the race for a Champions League spot. The reality now is that Brentford are in a fight with Bournemouth, Everton, Brighton, Sunderland, Chelsea and today's opponents Fulham for the 2 or possibly 3 European places. As it stands, with England being awarded an extra place in next season's Champions League, 6th would qualify for the Europa League and 7th, where Brentford currently sit, for the Europa Conference League. An extra European place could come depending on who wins the FA Cup. Should Manchester City or Chelsea win that competition, then an extra Europa League or Europa Conference League place via the league would become available. Well, Fulham are currently 12th in the table, but given the competitive nature of the Premier League this season, are just 3 points behind Brentford. Defeat last time out to Liverpool is no embarrassment, but Fulham's recent run of form has seen them dumps out the FA Cup by Championship side Southampton, whilst also failing to score against struggling West Ham United and Nottingham Forest. Well, the sun is shining in West London, and Thomas Frank, the former Brentford manager, is in attendance. He's been saying hello to some of his supporters of the club he managed just 10 months ago. He's now, of course, unemployed. It's Keith Andrews who's done such a remarkable job this season for Brentford. The two teams are lined up in the tunnel ready to come. The noise is starting to ring around the G-Tech Community Stadium as we await the teams emerging from the tunnel as Brentford take on Fulham. Paul Tini, the referee, leads the two teams out, grabs the match ball, and Brentford's will be in their red and white stripes, black shorts and black socks against a Fulham team in their lime luminous green away kit. And it's Brentford head coach Keith Andrews who's named an unchanged starting lineup from that 2-2 draw against Everton last week. Igor Thiago is only 1 goal behind Erling Haaland in the Golden Boot race, will start up top. Meanwhile, fullback Aaron Hickey returns to the matchday squad for the first time since February, having recovered from a hamstring injury. Marco Silva has made 4 changes to the Fulham side that suffered a 2-0 defeat at Liverpool last time out. Ryan Sessegnon, Emil Smith-Rowe, Sasa Lukic and Tom Kearney all come into the starting 11 as Anthony Robinson, Josh King, Oscar Bob and Sander Berge all drop out. Let's go through the two teams in their entirety. We'll start with Brentford. It will be Kelleher in goal for them. Coyote, Vanderberg, Collins and Lewis Potter as a back 4. Yarmouk and Jensen will be the anchors in midfield, with Sade, Damsgaard and Uatara supporting Igor Thiago as the last striker. For Fulham, Leno in goal for them. A back 4 of Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Sessegnon. Lukic and Kearney will be the pivot points in midfield, with Wilson on the left, Iwobi on the right and Smith-Rowe playing support to Rodrigo Muniz, who's preferred to start up top this evening. Well, Fulham have won the last 3 head-to-heads, and it was a 3-1 in the reverse fixture. And Brentford will be hoping to avoid back-to-back home losses since April 1998. I mentioned about Igor Thiago. Only Erling Haaland has scored more than the Brazilian forward, who's taken the Premier League by storm. 21 goals and counting so far for Thiago. In fact, you have to go back to the 2015-2016 season when the Brazilian in the top 5 leagues scored more than him. A name you may have heard of in the shape of Neymar. It's a long time ago, and he is ready to lead the charge potentially for his national side come the World Cup. And Harry Wilson for Fulham is enjoying the season of his life so far. He's also scored 7 times in the 11 previous games against Brentford, and is on a free contract at the end of the season. There's a lot of speculation where he might end up to pay his trade come August in the new Premier League season. The two managers have taken their place in the dugouts. Referee Paul Tini has called the captains over. We're going to get underway in sunny West London, where Brentford host Fulham inside the GTEC. Still plenty of fans trying to get into the ground right now. There's a problem with the turnstiles. Given the early morning nature of this kickoff, there's a few latecomers and a bit of a storm surge. They'll be in soon. It'll be Brentford that'll kick us off from left to right as we look on. Damsgaard stands over the ball. Now we just await the referee's whistle to get us underway in this lunchtime Premier League game. It's Brentford v Fulham in a West London derby that has big implications. Flick up and volley over to the right-hand side. Thiago will chase, and he's won the corner off Sessegnon. The assistant was right in place there. What a start that was for Brentford. The centre was taken so short. It was then flicked up and then volleyed into the corner. Ryan Sessegnon just tried to ease the ball out of play. From Thiago. Came off Sessegnon. It's a corner inside the opening 30 seconds here for Brentford, which Matara will take. It's whipped in towards the near post, flicked away. It's a really good delivery. Some pace, some venom. It's cleared away, and Iwobi gives chase as the ball's worked back to Kelleher. And launches one out to the right-hand side again. This time just sails out of play. It'll be a throw-in to Fulham on this near side. Keith Andrews immediately out to the edge of his technical area, barking instructions at his side. And Sessegnon will take this long throw. It's flipped on by Moniz, but there's no one in this lime green shirt around them. Will be picked up in the middle of the park by Yarmouk. He works it back to Collins. Brentford in possession on the right hand side with Van der Berg. Short pass infield. There's the striker Igor Thiago coming short to make an option for himself. Out off the defender. Brentford playing the ball around at the back, and they've managed to play through the press, and they've worked it over on the left hand side. Could be a chance on here for Damsgaard. Just flicked off the top of his head. Now to play for a throw-in. Really good from Brentford. Fulham were pressing, and it was a pretty fierce press. One-touch passing all the way round. Actually flicked up the left-hand side. Just a bit too much pace on it. Damsgaard couldn't keep it in. Lively start here in West London. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. Flick round the corner by Lukic. It's going to come back to Damsgaard though. Good tackling from Kearney. And here come Fulham for the first time with Sessegnon, who opens up his legs and he's charged forward. He's got Iwobi on the outside of him. Sessegnon's carried on his run. Iwobi plays it through. It just takes a little nick through. Otherwise that would have been into the path of Lukic, and he would have had a clear run on goal. Quick break from Fulham at the other end. Iwobi used the run of Sessegnon, who pulled Van der Berg out of position. And in behind him was Lukic coming up from deep. Just flick off the back of the defender's leg was enough. Raking ball, looking for Igor Thiago. And just a little bit too much on it. Thumbs raised by the Brazilian striker though. Jensen looking for that quarterback ball. Just skimmed off the turf, and Ella played for a throw-in. Fulham just 3 points behind Brentford in the table. Just 6 points separate 14th to 6th in the table. It's Crystal Palace up to Chelsea. There's a little gap then to Liverpool, who are in that 5th and final Champions League spot. As Kearney has the ball inside the centre circle. Ruby's up in the central position. Puts the ball back towards Kearney. Fulham have pushed players forwards. There's Bassi to Kearney, who's almost alongside his central defenders. Anderson. Nice ball out to the right hand side. Here's Wilson getting involved for the first time. Smith Rowe comes across, gets a touch, lays the ball back. Fulham enjoying a spell of possession. Making cross-field ball coming from Anderson, looking for the left-hand side, and Iwobi this time. He just gets a bit too much on that one. So Fulham earlier on this season. They like to work the ball back towards Anderson. He likes those long balls into the channel. Given the nature of this ground is positioned, there are flats all around the perimeter of this ground, and some of them have an excellent view of the pitch. There's a fair few supporters out on the balcony taking in the sun and taking in the game. Not a bad selling point. Kelleher lays the ball short. Collins helps it out to Lewis Potter. Pressure for Sade. Knocks it back and it's flicked infield to Yarmouk. Kearney closing him down. Yarmouk back to the goalkeeper Kelleher. Brentford taking one or two touches, moving the ball on quickly. Again with Kelleher. And he's giving chase as Van der Berg runs away with the ball. Little pass into the middle. There's Sade looking to turn. Drag from behind, that would be a free kick. Lukic is going to get the game's first yellow card. I often see him given that early. It was a clear tug on the arm. And Sade was definitely impaired. And so Fulham, Lukic already with a yellow card. The free kick taken quickly, looking for Ouattara. Once again, just a bit too much on it. Wilson trying to catch everybody out. I think Ouattara would have been offside. He managed to get hold of the ball. He's skipping off the turf really quickly. At the pace in the pitch. Maybe he's just beaten to it by Ouattara. Asani, he's been coming in from Bournemouth. Took him a little bit of time to settle. Scarudi gives it to Lewis Potter. Jogs back out to his right hand side. Potter back to Kelleher. Hooks the ball outside of his area. Still allowed to go. Muniz goes to gesture to go towards him. The ball goes to Lewis Potter. Trips up the line for Sade. By Anderson, she only just lost track of where the ball was. At the back of his head, it's gone out for a throw-in. Anderson is a rock at the heart of this Fulham defence. Since his arrival from Crystal Palace a couple of seasons ago. He did score an own goal against his former club this season. The ball was lifted high into the air, and Ouattara just losing out to Kearney. Sessignon finds Iwobi. Iwobi, nice ball in file. Lukic helps out to the right hand side. There's Castagna. Castagna puts the face of the pitch towards Bassi. The ball towards the midfield third. Give and go to him and Kearney. Kearney's now peeled away off of Thiago. Crosses halfway. Looks to play a long ball forwards, looking for the run of Rodrigo Muniz, but too close to the goalkeeper. The pattern of the start of this game, both teams keeping the ball deep and then looking for that long ball over the top. So far, the radar's just been slightly off. No chances as yet in the opening 8 minutes here. Game's just settled after a bit of a frantic start. Van der Berg carried up towards the halfway line. He now clips onto the channel. And Igor Thiago, there's the question of Bassi. And Bassi can't prevent the corner. It was a bit of weight on that ball. Thiago is ever the willing runner. Seems to give the eyes and know when to make the run. It's the second corner of the afternoon for Brentford. This one was whipped in delightfully, but well defended by Anderson on the edge of the 6-yard box. Again, it's going to be an in-swinger. Also Van der Berg, Damsgaard and Collins lining up in the back. Shai's just joined him. Ouattara stands over it. This time it's gone short. Jensen clips it in. Header! Just past the near post. Igor Thiago. But they're ahead of Anderson. couldn't direct his header goalwards. Simple, short corner routine. Even Thiago just stood his ground. Anderson was all over him. Thiago's an absolute rock. He just couldn't direct his header towards goal. So strong. Launched forwards by Leno. Surely a little nudge in the back. Referee not interested. Muniz goes to the ground, but it's well won by Smith Rowe, who's tugged to the turf, but referee wastes advantage as Wilson goes into the area. Wilson goes for goal and Muniz blocks his own player's shot. It's going to be a Brentford throw-in. Well, Muniz tried to run across the base of the goal, maybe just to try and blindside the goalkeeper. But in doing so, he ran in front of the shot. Knocked it away. Brentford will be relieved. Well, Johnson escapes a yellow card. It's a very similar situation to the one shown for Lukic. The referee played advantage. He didn't go back and pick the offender. Fulham don't have a good record against sides that have started in the top half of the Premier League. They've lost 10 of their last 15 fixtures, including the last 4. Which goes back to February in a 2-1 win against Chelsea, which could be a good omen in the West London derby. The last time they beat the side that started the table inside the top half. Just inside his own half. Short pass infield to Anderson. Back to Bassi once more. Here's Lukic. Managing to get beyond Jensen. Out towards Sessegnon. Sessegnon goes for the early cross. It's blocked well by Kiyode, who then flies in to prevent the corner. And Iwobi trying to help it into the box. And he exits to scoop it over the defender. Behind for a goal kick. Really good defending by Kiyode. Don't really know how he positioned his body in a way to keep that one in. He's almost lying on air before he scoops his leg out to flick it away. Goal from Kelleher. It's going here for Damsgaard, who shows the dummy to Sessegnon. There's Ouattara. Kiyode's going in the outside of it. Ouattara inside. Kiyode to win the throw-in off Sessegnon. Stadium now full. Short outside the grounds, made their way in. It is reverberating around the G-Tech Community Stadium as a long throw is incoming. Kiyode will take it. Vandenberg and Collins are up from the back. With movement. It's trying to keep a high line. It's now back towards the 6-yard box. It's headed away. Helped on by Smith Rowe. Normally can guide it back towards the goalkeeper Kelleher. Just one forwards. Away by Collins. It's up in the middle of the park by Jensen. It's nice from him to flick it up over Smith Rowe. Now it's high up into the air. Muniz draws it down with the base of his foot. It's all a bit scrappy in the centre circle, but eventually it's been put through to Sade. Thiago's made the great run. Igor Thiago inside the area, checks it back on his right foot. Shot well blocked by Anderson. And Fulham can clear. Lukic pokes it away. Smith Rowe calmly plays it back towards Castagna, who almost played a blind pass to his goalkeeper. He had to get rid of it quickly. And he's out to Smith Rowe. Luckily not a touch from him to get away from Ouattara. Smith Rowe again. Forward to Lukic. Kearney swivels on a sixpence. Spreads it out to the left-hand side. Iwobi charging up. Iwobi coming inside on his right foot. Just held up momentarily by Sade, and Iwobi's inexplicably given the ball away. And now Ouattara could be in. Thiago's made the run over to the left-hand side. Here is the Brazilian. Iwobi close in attention. Hooked out towards the left-hand side. Here's Lewis Potter. shifting on his left foot, going on the outside on his right, skipping inside the defender. Eventually there was just one too many Lewis players there. He can get it clear. Jensen looking for a long diagonal ball. He had made the run up from the back. Again, just a bit too much on it. Warning signs though here for Fulham. Just being slid in. It's actually Castagna that got the block in on the shot. Face them. They're struggling, just having to put their hands above their eyes just to shield the sun. See where the pass could be made. As I say that, some clouds come and cover the sun as it bit of gloom fills over the GTEC Community Stadium. Damsgaard picks the ball up in the middle of the park. Here's Jensen back to Damsgaard. Shaped to play it out to the right hand side. Instead goes back 10 yards to Jensen. Leode just standing on the ball. Just avoiding the challenge from Iwobi. Had a couple of nibbles at it but couldn't win the ball back. Still Brentford with the ball. 15 minutes gone. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. West London derby, lunchtime Premier League kickoff. Swept out towards Lewis Potter on the left hand side. Potter still going. Went out towards Collins. Inside, easily picked off by Kearney. And he's looking to break quickly. And he's managed to find Wilson. And Wilson's in behind Potter here. Wilson driving into the area. Potter standing with him stride for stride. Wilson cuts it back, looking for the cross. It's headed away at the near post. And then flicked on by Damsgaard, but only towards the edge of the area. Kearney can't control it. And maybe a chance for Brentford to break. Thiago releases Sade. He's just forced backwards, but then he's easily beaten Bassi for pace. Flicks it through his legs. Got taken out for his troubles. It's going to be a free kick. And now Tierney's asking Brentford to take the free kick from the correct position. It's lovely from Sade. Took one touch. And then with the opposite foot just flicked it between the legs of Bassi. It's a clumsy challenge from the Nigerian defender. With Van der Berg. It's for Collins. And Lewis Potter. Brentford playing the ball around at the back. Kelleher switches it back up to this right hand side. Van der Berg. Flip round the corner. Here's Uwatara coming inside. There's four up here with this Brentford attack. Uwatara driving to the edge of the area. Uwatara just being held up by Anderson. Works on his right foot. Gets the shot on goal. Comfortable for the goalkeeper Leno in the end. First real attempts on goal from either side. It's no surprise it's come from Brentford. Thiago just makes the space as he just pulls off one side or the other. This time he pulled off to the right. Uwatara coming inside. Space between the two centre-backs. And just open it up onto his right foot. It was firm, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. Anderson. The long ball over the top. Again, too much on it. Sessegnon was never going to get there. It's out for a throw-in. It all happened really because of a first-time ball forwards from Damsgaard, just flicking the ball round the corner. Anderson thought he'd wrapped up Uwatara, but managed to have the wherewithal to shift it quickly onto his right foot and get the shot off from the edge of the area. From Leode up the wicket. Flicked on by Iwobi. Back it comes the other way. Coyote on the knee. And just out for a throw-in. Brentford have drawn the last two here after leading. 2 up against Wolves before being pulled back twice in the second half. They were 1-0 and 2-1 up against Everton last weekend before eventually drawing that game 2 apiece. The last 2 away games have both been 0-0 draws. They haven't gone 5 games in a drawing sequence since March, April 1957. 70 years ago. There's Kearney. To Smith Rowe. Back to Castagna. Kearney Just inside the centre circle. Spreads it out towards Bassi. Space for Iwobi, tight to the touchline. Rolls his foot over the ball. Back to Bassi, who's under pressure from Thiago. Manages to hold him off, and then he's run out of pitch, has he? Yes, says the assistant, who was looking along the line. It's a tight one right underneath us here. Brentford have got the throw it. Coyote. He's seen a couple of times. He's got a beast of a throw in. This time it's into the feet of Damsgaard, who's bundled over. Referee, not sure he had a clear view of that one, but he's not given a free kick as he was bundled over by Lukic. Too many complaints. Sessignon will take this throw for Fulham. It's the middle of the pitch. Iwobi lets the ball bounce. Sade nips in and wins the ball off him. And then does a nice little feint and shifts onto his right foot. And takes on Smith Rowe. Jensen inside him. And Iwobi comes back and sticks to his defensive duty. Making amends for his error. Leno taking a risk, inviting the challenge. Fulham trying to play out from the back. Could be playing themselves into trouble, but Sessional's played it in. Bassi, he's not got the ball, he's taken out the man. The referee said advantage, but I think that was inside the area. Brentford continue. Here's Coyote. Woodtar's gone on the outside. Coyote towards the goalkeeper, gets a fist on it, cleared away. And only as far as Lewis Potter. Here's Jensen. Fulham now back in position. Collins, it's a nice ball forward. Here's Jensen. Over on the left-hand side now. Damsgaard's made the run into the channel. Damsgaard's getting a touch, but he's just eased off it by Anderson. That'll be a goal kick. Well, the referee played advantage. I really would like to see that again. I think that was inside the area. That should be a penalty. Difficult to tell at first glance. VAR not going to get involved in this, which seems to suggest that maybe it wasn't outside the area. It was outside the area, I should say. Smith Rowe will pick up the loose ball in the middle of the park. Give and go with Lukic. Smith Rowe pokes it out to Wilson. Wilson's got two Brentford players around him. Castagna just trying to get some sanity on this game, but Lukic has been muscled off it, and Sade bursts into Fulham territory. And then just had too many players around him as he tried to release Thiago. Fulham have it back once more. Shouldn't come as a surprise for Fulham not to be scoring inside the first half. Since the turn of the year, they've scored just 4. Our side has scored less so far this season. It's a nice touch from Smith Rowe. Back to Kearney. Fulham popping the ball around nicely. And there's space for Bassi to carry it forwards. Sessignon almost lined up as another striker. Back to Iwobi. Here's Lukic. Cut back turn to get away from Yarmouk. It's the path of Sessignon. Sessignon tries to play it through for Wilson. And Wilson just caught on his heels. Wanted the ball to feet. Frustration. Brentford can come away with the ball. Kelleher right now. To whip the ball up towards the edge of the area. And closing him down. Kelleher just surveying the pitch, looking for options. He's got Collins to his left. And the bird to his right. He's just rolling his foot forwards. He's can't find the pass to Potter. It's all a bit of a waste, really. And of course, who in the Champions League final for Liverpool. That's a loose pass given away straight to Yarmouk inside the middle of the pitch. Tries to squeeze it forwards for Thiago. Back It comes towards Jensen over the top. Uetar's got behind his man. The ball bounces and that allows Leno to get a fist in. And it's cleared away by Castagna. And the offside flag has now been raised against Uetar. It was a lovely scoop ball over the top. It was just offside. He waited for it to bounce and it skipped off the turf again. Needed to hit it first time. It wouldn't have counted anyway. 25 minutes gone here at the GTEC Community Stadium. Still Brentford 0, Fulham 0. And Thiago back defending, getting there ahead of Sessegnon. Sessegnon just moving forward, stealing a couple of yards. As he prepares to take this throw in. Towards Smith Rowe, he's beaten to it by Collins. Straight out for another throw, this time on the halfway line. Mentioning about Fulham's record of scoring in the first half, just 4 in 2026. They scored a first half goal. League away games. Through making it 10. Lucas has been allowed to carry the ball a really long way. Brentford are backing off. Smith Rowe out to Wilson. Wilson shakes towards goal on the outside. Gets the cross in. It's blocked behind. It's going to be Fulham's first corner of the afternoon. Fulham just starting to take control possession-wise. They've had 67% of possession in the last 10 minutes. So Wilson will take this first Fulham corner. They've got a good record defensively from corners this season. They've conceded just 2 goals from such set pieces, the best in the Premier League. Corners towards the near post. It's dealt with well. And Fulham going to have to defend the breakaway here as Damsgaard flicks it round the corner. That's good strength from Sessegnon. Just got himself between man and ball before working it back to the goalkeeper. Smith Rowe back to Bassett. There's Kearney. To turn. Brentford just standing off a little bit here. Julian Meneers has made the run in behind. He said the ball's gone short towards Iwobi, who's currently over on the right hand side of the pitch. Wilson getting involved. He comes infield. Iwobi stayed out wide to the right, and Wilson has been found in the middle of the park. Some really good recovery sliding tackle from Damsgaard. Wilson didn't see him coming. The ball's back with Brentford. Coyote carries it forwards. Oh, a lovely little feint and go. Driving in towards Brentford territory. And now he's going on the outside of Bassi, who just steps across him. He's such a big frame. Even Coyote couldn't hustle past him. And the keeper comes and collects it. That's a really good lung-busting run from the Brentford centre-back. But now he's out of position as Iwobi likes to attack on this left-hand side. Iwobi waiting for support. Has to play it back 20 yards to Sessegnon. Lukic. There's a turn from Kearney. That's the forward position I've seen him in so far this afternoon. Smith Rowe allowed to work the ball out to the right-hand side. Castagna. There's Kearney. Pocket of space just in front of the Brentford back line. Switches it out towards Iwobi. Iwobi inside the area. Iwobi pokes it back for Sessegnon. He rolls it out of his foot, cross towards the far post. Keeper spills it. It's going to be a corner. Keller didn't cover himself there in glory. Should have been a routine catch. Let the ball go between his fingers. And behind for a corner kick. Vanderberg scratching his head. Brentford fans will be scratching their head if something comes from this. Wilson, a second corner in relatively quick succession. 28 minutes gone at the GTEC Community Stadium. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. Lukic also stands over it, raises his hand, walks away. And it is delivered high to the far post, and it's headed back by Smith Rowe. Clearance is going to come back Fulham's way. Smith Rowe finds Iwobi. Iwobi cut it back towards the penalty spot. Anderson swings, didn't really get hold of it. Brentford should be able to get it clear. Launch forwards up towards halfway. just bounced out just after we crossed halfway. A half chance there for Anderson. It's nice from Fulham. Iwobi could have smashed it across the face of the box, but just cut the ball back nicely for Anderson. It's just coming across his body, so as he swung to hit it, just didn't quite get hold of it. And back in possession with Bassett. Anderson with plenty of time on the ball. Is it short? It's the return from Smith Rowe. Anderson finds Smith Rowe again, who's just pulled beyond the back of Jensen. He's carried on his run as he lays it off to Wilson. Wilson switches over to this left-hand side. Plenty of space for Iwobi. Now Coyote tries to close him down. Iwobi, lovely ball into the box. It's poked back for Sessegnon. Sessegnon sets past one. There are too many Brentford shirts back there. Damsgaard's got three Fulham players around him as he runs into no man's land. And he's been given the decision, much to the despair of Bassi. Marco Silva with a smile on his face, but it's a smile of disbelief that that decision hasn't gone his side's way. It looked like it should have been a Fulham throw, must be said. Definitely was him that had the final touch. Quite sure what Paul Tierney saw. Moody walks it up the line, comes off the top of Sessegnon's head. Thiago jumping for it, free kick given against him. He launches himself up and over the top, and it's himself and Anderson that look to be in some discomfort on the floor. And Tierney's got a smile on his face. Off the top of Sessegnon's head. As he was holding Igor Thiago, eventually got clear of him, losing the ball. And he looks at the man as he jumps over the top of Anderson. Firmly in the back as well. I'm saying that Brentford, I think Brazil would want, would be an injury to him. Nice to say he's now back on his feet. As Anderson. And will continue. Kenny. To walk the ball across the face of the Saturday. To Lukic. To Smith Rowe, steps inside of his man. And he can turn away from Damsgaard. There's Anderson coming up from the back. Only space on the left hand side for Iwobi, and that's where the ball's gone. Iwobi to tease Coyote, squares it to the edge of the area. That's lovely footwork. Sessegnon in the box again. Just got underneath it, high into the stand. Sessegnon keeps popping up in that position, just off the left forward. This time he could turn, he took the ball really well. Second touch, just bobbled up at the wrong time, he got underneath it. And frustration from Marco Silva. He knows what a big chance that was for Ryan Sessegnon. He was back at Fulham after a 4-year spell at Tottenham. It didn't really work for him there. He started to reignite his career. Big things were expected of him. And a big chance for the Fulham left back. There's Collins. To Van der Berg. Now Luke can turn. Kick ball out over the top of Castagna. And it just spins off the turf. And Potter looks back with a look of anger at the pass, not being accurate. Fulham are going to throw a level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Inside their own half over on the far side. Son, I'm pleased to say, is back out. Castagna takes his time over this throw-in. Skips forward a few feet before launching it forwards. Back it comes from Yarmouk. Sessegnon off the hands of Uatar, but it comes Fulham's way. So therefore plays advantage. Iwobi in close attention. Has to go back towards Bassi. See across the face of the 18-yard box. Here's Anderson. Space to run the ball forwards. Shifts it on towards Lukic. Now out on the right-hand side. Smith Rowe seems to be popping up everywhere. And Anderson Bassey will carry it forwards into the Brentford half. Iwobi again in space on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Sessegnon's been bundled over right in front of the referee. Sessegnon back on his feet. Picks up the ball, he lays it for Iwobi, hits it first time, comes off the defender. Fulham have it again. They're finishing this half strongly. Into the final 10 of the first half. Anderson, lovely crossfield ball out towards Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe cushions it down, steps inside one, pokes it forward for Kearney. Kearney holds off Damsgaard. Now Wilson. Fulham poised around the edge of the penalty area. Good bodies back. It's a loose touch from Sessegnon, who was on the left-hand side of the penalty area here. Almost managed to steal the ball back. Brentford hit the rub of the green, clear it away towards Thiago on this near side. His support, he's got it in the shape of Coyote. Coyote still going. Coyote looks to release Uatara on the right-hand side. Uatara goes through the legs of Bassey, who tries to step across him. Across comes Lukic. Referee, well, as I say, the referee, Uatara looks towards the referee to say, is that fair? Fulham have played it out nicely. Here goes Kearney, charging forwards. Iwobi on the march on the left-hand side, just checks back, plays it infield towards Lukic. Now there's space in the middle of the park for Wilson. Wilson, he knows how to score spectacular goals, just trying to feed it through to Rodrigo Muniz. Foot in, Collins could splash it clear. Lukic can turn. Two players around him. Moves left towards Smith Rowe. To Kearney. Again, space on the left-hand side for Iwobi. It's very much the release. He's really asking questions of Coyote. Heading towards the corner of the 18-yard box. Just tries to poke it forward. Showed too much of it for the defender. And Sade is wiped out by Lukic as he looked to turn. Referee's given a free kick, much to Sade's dismay. It's gone. 8 minutes to half time, I should say. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. If it is a level at half time, chances are the full-time result might well be the same. 12 of 16 Brentford home games this season. It has been whatever the half-time scoreline has been. The result has matched. To Collins. Just need to get the football back in the game. Fulham for the last 10-15 minutes. And the Berg towards halfway. Options for a forward pass. It goes short in field to Yarmouk instead. And has to go back to the goalkeeper Kelleher. And the Berg. Keeps on over the top. Thiago had made the run from the far side. Sade trying to make the run through the channel. Neither were going to be quick enough to get on the end of it. Anderson receives the ball to his feet from Leno. He's waving his players away. Playing the ball into the feet of Sessegnon. Shows too much of it for Uatara. It's a free kick. It's going to be a throw-in instead. Sessegnon raises his hands. Once again, the manager with his head in his hands. He's popped up in the right positions. Just hasn't always had the best outcome with the ball. November, he's just in conversation with the fourth official below us here. Not sure what he's in conversation with. Still yet to see a replay of that incident where Bassey wiped out Thiago. It seemed to me was inside the area. Just comes in towards the far post. It's come off a Fulham man last, has it? Is it going to be a corner? Collins was the Brentford player who was attacking. So Muniz his head. And Muniz also got an elbow inside Castagna as well. So it's a corner to Brentford. Vincent, the swinger from the far side. And Sade in conversation. making their move to their respective positions on the goal line. It's 5 now, Brentford players around the goalkeeper. It's towards their post. Sade flicks it on, and it's cleared away off the line by Lukic. Damsgaard helps it out to Jensen, who just it down, but straight out of play. Good chance for a break on here. That was certainly the intention from Wilson. Fulham player up around him. It's a good flick on from Charlie at near post. His arm, but his arm was right in front of his belly. No indication of weight. Shout for a penalty. The goalkeeper, Leno. Thiago giving chase. Plays it short to Bassi, who flicks it round the challenge of Uatar. Straight out of play. That's where Fulham have been risky. Plenty of time and space. 10 yards inside his own half. Switches out towards Collins. All the way to Kelleher. Brentford being pressed. Kelleher sells the dummy towards Lukic. There's Damsgaard getting there ahead of Jensen. Just made the run on the outside. He sends it to the feet of Sade. His layoff's been intercepted by Wilson. And here go Fulham again. Kearney tries to release Rodrigo Muniz. Deflects off the back of Collins Hill. That's an awkward one for Iwobi, who's just pulled up holding his hamstring. His right hamstring. Want to chase that ball. That's not good news for the Nigerian winger. And Fulham might be forced into a change here. And he's now gone down on the turf. He's going to need some treatment. Some worried looks on the faces of Fulham supporters in the away end. They're going to be forced into a change. Mika seems the most obvious replacement. He just went to sprint to keep the ball in play. Call up. It's a real sorry sight. He's still receiving treatment. This game is going to be up. Just asking him to keep him off the pitch. Treatment there. Maybe he's back on his feet. He's taken his hairband out, and it is going to be Chukwueze. He's going to come on to replace him. So a forced substitution. Maybe gets a warm round of applause from the travelling contingent. High five from his manager. Marco Silva is still explaining to Chukwueze his responsibilities. And he'll be straight down the tunnel. Fulham are going to throw in a really promising position, which Sessegnon will take. 3 minutes before the break. A couple of minutes added on. Only really for this stoppage right now. It's flowed pretty well, this game. Sessegnon pointing towards the back of the area. It's launched high. It's flicked on. Headed away by Sade. And a bounce here for Bassi. Put out from Collins. And back the other way by Castagna. Sade raises high. Surely that's a free kick. Smith Rowe backing in. And yes, indeed it is. Necessary from the former Arsenal man. I wonder how this will change the attacking output for Fulham. He's been pretty central to it his last 15-20 minutes or so on this left-hand side. Right now, though, it's Malik who's picked up the ball just outside his own area to Collins. Damsgaard looks to chip it up the line for Lewis Potter. It's going to fall for Sade. Sade falls to the ground, tries to poke it towards Jensen. And then he puts an arm in the back of Wilson and gives away a free kick. Fulham will be back in possession. Taken quickly. Kearney back to Anderson. First time ball out to Bassi. Bassi finds Chukwueze. First touch for him. It's a very assured first touch and doesn't take any risks. Safe with it. Back towards Bassi. Kearney now. Forward to Anderson. I feel like Fulham need to push on, not necessarily in this first half, but need to push on to try and get the 3 points, given the fact they are behind in this race for European football, depending on their aspirations. Kearney just forced Damsgaard to make a mistake. He takes the throw in quickly, flicked on by Igor Thiago. Lukic is there first, and here's Smith Rowe, who also makes the run inside. There's no one on the outside for him to pass to, but there's an in-for ball for Sessegnon. Now Kearney out to Chukwueze, first time ball towards the penalty spot, easily cleared away. And here go Brentford with Igor Thiago charging forward on his own. He's got Damsgaard out to his right. Damsgaard, is he going to keep it in? Yes, he is. Damsgaard, can he pick out a cross? Well, he's happy to accept the corner. Bassi back defending, and a warm round of applause from the Brentford bench towards Igor Thiago and Damsgaard. That's where Brentford are at their most dangerous, on the break. It's taking up a bit of pressure. So quick forward. This time it was Igor Thiago who was back pretty much just on his own penalty area where he received the ball. Charged forwards, and before you knew it, he won the halfway line, flicking the ball for Damsgaard to run onto on goal. Corner for Brentford. Into the first of 2 added minutes. The end of this first half. Lovely delivery, flicked away by Anderson. He's going to break here and over the top. Oh, what an opportunity that was. Lewis Potter. How has he not scored? The corner went all the way through, flicked away by Anderson. Sade just cushioned it so nicely on the full volley. Back for Lewis Potter, who did the right thing. He just put his foot on the ball to make 2 Fulham players slide in. And he tried to chip it over the challenge, but he chips it over the bar from 6 yards out. The best chance of this first half. And Brentford were unable to capitalise. Still Brentford 0, Fulham 0. What a big moment that would have been. Brentford with a throw-in over on the far side. Last 20 seconds of the allotted 2 added minutes. Up the line for Sade to chase. Castagna muscled off it. Sade, does he keep it in play? He does, but he can only work the ball back to Lukic. And there from Wilson. Fine hanging. Muniz, nice control from him. Out to Chukwueze, but across comes Coyote. That's the half-time whistle. It's Brentford 0, Fulham 0. Nothing between the two sides. Igor Thiago had the game's first chance with a header from 6 yards that he couldn't direct on target. Fulham certainly came into the game and was stronger without really creating any opportunities for large parts of the first half. And then right at the death, Lewis Potter fired over from 6 yards where really he should have done better. The half-time score at the G-Tech Community Stadium. This West London derby is Brentford 0, Fulham 0. We'll see you again in 15. Welcome back to the G-Tech Community Stadium, where the half-time score is Brentford 0, Fulham 0 in this West London derby, where in truth the first half didn't really light up. Both teams rather passive. Certainly that was the view of Joe Cole, who's watching the game. Says that neither side going for it, far too passive. Neither side want to take a risk. And Fulham have now gone 10 consecutive first halves without scoring away from home. Brentford on course for a 5th successive draw for the first time in 70 years. It's Fulham that are going to kick off this second half from left to right as we look on. Will we see some action in the second half? Wilson looks to go long early. And there's a chance for Mutar to defend. He's got Chukwueze on his back. And then it goes for a goal kick. Similar centre to Brentford's in a way. Looking for that long ball early into the corner, trying to force the corner. And on this occasion, the defender didn't get a touch. It's a goal kick which has been taken long early. Bassi shrugs off Igor Thiago. He picks up the second ball to Van der Berg. There's Kelleher. Now to walk the ball forwards. Indeed, chance-wise, there was 5 attempts from Brentford, just the one on target, the shot from the edge of the area from Uratara. Fulham themselves had 5 attempts, none on target. Chance in that first half for Lewis Potter. Over the top of the crossbar from 8 yards when really should have done better. The other side really being able to get hold of the ball in the middle of the park at the moment. It's back with Kelleher. Towards this left-hand side. It's Collins. To Kelleher once more. Kelleher takes a risk and almost loses out to Rodrigo Muniz. He swiveled and turned away from him and almost stumbled. Fortunate there for the Brentford number 1. Cleared up the line, flicked on by Sade. Thiago comes in, flicks the ball forwards. Sade there again, then Anderson knocks it out of play. Risky moment there though for the Brentford goalkeeper. Took a heavy first touch and then turned back and got away from Muniz, but only just. Risky. Fulham had the lion's share of possession in that first half, 60% of it. All of it came down on the left-hand side with Alex Iwobi, who went off injured just before the break. Pulled up, chasing after a ball that was going out of play. Looks to be a hamstring injury. It's nothing too serious. Just run through the 2 starting lineups for you, or the 2 lineups as they are right now. For Brentford, Kelleher in goal, Coyote, Van der Berg, Collins and Lewis Potter the back 4, Yarmouk and Jensen in the centre of midfield, with Ouattara, Damsgaard and Sade supporting Igor Thiago. And here is a chance for Fulham. Chukwueze looking to break. He's had his shirt pulled. Meanwhile, the referee's pulled it back because there's a player down holding his head. And it's Collins who headed into his teammate's own arm. He's saved his teammate a yellow card there. Fulham lineup. Leno in goal for them. Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Cessny on the back 4. Lukic, who's on a yellow card, he got booked inside the 5th minute for a shirt pull. And Kearney, the captain, with Wilson, Smith-Rowe, and now Chukwueze, who came on for the injured Iwobi. And Rodrigo Muniz leading the line. Collins still on the turf. Physical staff there just checking over his face. Now they're helping him onto his feet. It's going to be okay to continue. And resume with a drop ball. Fulham will get the possession. we see any goals in this second half? As it stands, Brentford will be level on points with Chelsea on 48 points. Fulham have 45 points. Won't be enough to see them climb up the table though. There's Smith Rowe. Which made the run out into the channel. Instead the ball's played short inside for Wilson. On to Kearney. He's got space to run into here. Brentford have really backed off. So Chukwueze into the area. Sessegnon, oh, it's a heavy touch from him. He lays it back for Lukic and it's high into the stands. Didn't get hold of it. But the real chance was for Sessegnon. It's a really poor first touch. Once again, he's managed to find the space in between the centre-back and the full-back. And a heavy first touch really took the opportunity away from him. Such frustration for Marco Silva. Bassi too strong for Uwatara. And then he's bundled through Coyote and he's come off worse. The throw-in is going to go Brentford's way. Bassi is... The referee should have had a free kick. It's a clash of legs between him and Coyote. Bassi trying to initiate that in truth. That's the correct decision from Paul Tierney. Thrown into the middle of the park. Flipped on by Damsgaard. Potter just gets a toe on it. Collins saw that Wilson was coming in the blind side and decided not to play it back to the goalkeeper. And it goes instead. It's going to come back. Chukwueze. He's happy to accept the throw-in on the far side. On the halfway line. Any options on the bench for Brentford? There's Nelson. Will be called into action maybe. Fulham, look at their bench, the likes of Raul Jimenez, Josh King, should they need to be called upon. So scrappy in the middle of the park and on the side, able to get a foothold on it. It's bobbling back and forth. Eventually it's poked forward by Anderson and picked up by Coyote. That's into the middle of the park. That's a clever ball. Here's Jensen. Jensen's got Potter on the outside of it. Here is Potter. Held up by Wilson. Chips it for Damsgaard to chase onto him. Once again, too much on it. Skips off the turf and out behind for a goal kick. Jordan Henderson not able to return in time for this game. Still suffering from that injury. Sidelined him for the last couple of months. Looks like it'll be another couple of weeks yet before we see the former England man in the Brentford shirt. He's also been included in a lot of Thomas Tuchel's squads. It's a flick. It's the path of Collins. Collins being held off by Lukic, who watched him stride for stride. Forced the Brentford man out of play for a throw-in. Goalless here, 7 minutes gone into the second half of the G-Tech Community Stadium. It's West London derby. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. Nice for European places. Remember that 8 European places next season. Currently 7 of which will be determined by league standings. Brentford are in that 7th position. And if the league was to finish today, in the Europa Conference League, but that might change as Sessions gets in behind and he cuts the ball back. It's turned behind his own goal by Van der Berg at the near post. It's going to be a corner to Fulham, and they've started the second half like they ended the first, very much on the ascendancy, without being able to create anything to trouble Kelleher in the Brentford goal. Change on this corner. Anderson, Bassi up from the back. Wilson goes across with Lukic, who's looks to be favoured to take this latest Fulham corner. Wilson puts his arm up. Here's him, it will be an outswinger. Also pushing and shoving the box. It's an in-swinger high and hanging. That's safely all the way through for a goal kick. It's a really poor delivery from Lukic. Frustration for Marco Silva. How can a professional footballer deliver a set piece that poorly? I just don't know. And high into the sky. Sade gets a little nudge in the back, but gets the flick on. Igor Thiago, lovely back heel. Sade, oh, he doesn't take it into his stride. Just slips at the vital moment. He would have had a clear run on goal. And that's a reprieve from Fulham. It's a lovely back heel from Igor Thiago. Meanwhile, Rodrigo Muniz does really well under pressure from Collins. Foot in from Jensen. Rodrigo Muniz stays on the floor. Jensen keeps going. Jensen steps inside. Really good sliding challenge from Anderson. Neither side keeping hold of the ball, but that may change as Sessegnon breaks free on the left-hand side. Sessegnon. Yarmouk across to thwart the momentum of that run. Kearney has got two over on the left-hand side. It's out with Chukwueze. Chukwueze's got space to put a cross in. It's deep towards the far post. It's Wilson beaten to it. Damsgaard can hook it clear. Anderson back into the danger area. Or so he thought, but there was no Fulham player in that part of the pitch. Lewis Potter recovers. Onto the feet of Jensen. There's his shirt tugged by Smith Rowe. Free kick to Brentford, which is taken quickly in this space on the far side. And Nuatara is in behind the back line here. Igor Thiago running towards the near post. Damsgaard going towards the far post. The cross is blocked behind for a corner by Ryan Sessegnon. Really good quick thinking from Jensen. Space was out there for Igor Thiago, and that time the ball was pinpoint. Nuatara couldn't quite get the cross in early enough. They had the chance to put in another set piece. But again, waiting to get bodies up from the back. Referee Paul Tierney just going to have a word. Pushing and shoving in the box. Brentford overloading at the back of the 6-yard box. 7 players waiting there. Everybody defending as the ball is really poured over towards the near post when every Brentford player was at the back post. It's not where you expected the ball to be. Coyote charging forwards. Out to Damsgaard. Space for Lewis Potter. Can he pick out a cross? It's a lovely delivery towards the far post. It comes to Nuatara, who controls it brilliantly. On his right foot, fires it in, and that's a great shot that's well saved by the goalkeeper. Well, the 2 shots on target have both come from the Brentford number 19. This time, it was a fiercer strike. Again, it was straight at the goalkeeper. You'd expect him to save it. Fulham trying to play out from the back, and they've almost caught out there by Damsgaard. Anderson can work it back to Leno. Brentford players just backing off and allowing to pass it short up to Bassi. Bassi up the line, clips one over the top for Rodrigo Muniz to chase. Just curls away from him, but Smith Rowe might be able to bundle on it. He's bundled over Lewis Potter. Free kick given against the former Arsenal man. And away come Brentford straight away. Oh, but a bit of miscommunication. And now Fulham could be in. And Smith Rowe steps to the turf. And Jensen gets possession for Brentford. Over the top looking for Sade. Doesn't get over the head of Castagna. Castagna infield towards Lukic, who's given it away. Igor Thiago strength holding off the challenge. Sade driving on the left-hand side. He's got Yarmouk inside him. Back it goes instead to Jensen. Jensen back up to Sade. Jensen's carried on his run. Yarmouk's pulled back. The cross is blocked and easily picked off. And here's Wilson. So much space for Chukwueze on the far side. There's 3 up here in this Fulham attack. Infield to Kearney. Kearney just took a bit too long and Brentford have got bodies back. Chukwueze though still on the ball. Little step over. Back to Kearney. Wilson calls for it. He's made a really... Ball's just shifted infield and... Hands are good. It's there above the head of Muniz. And that counter-attack comes to nothing. It's just a bit too slow-paced. They've got to go for it, got to take risks. There's Jensen turning into trouble. Now he's left on the turf as the ball is played forwards. It's in the back of his head. No free kick was given. It was Lukic, the player closest to him. Holding a yellow card, of course. Oh, it was a shoulder right to the face of Jensen. That's it's definitely a sore one. Marco Silva talking to the fourth official, asking why it wasn't a free kick, and then coming back to stop the play, I'm sure. Several Fulham players warming up. As we've seen if we'll see any of them on the pitch today. Still goalless. Hour played here in West London. West London derby between Brentford and Fulham. Still goalless. Two of 5 last Brentford games have finished 0-0. Of course, they had that epic FA Cup 2-2 draw with West Ham within that as well, which they went out to on penalties. Thiago just tries to hold of his man. It's going to break for Lewis Potter. Lovely bit of footwork to get away from his man. Potter has gone in on the blind side. Can he get the cross in? It's a lovely delivery towards the back post, but no one there to challenge. It's only as far as Yarmouk. Here's Coyote going on the outside. Then turns back. Lays it back to Yarmouk. Brentford camp now in the Fulham half. Really for the first time this half. Here's Jensen. Brentford now being forced all the way back. It's Van der Berg to Kelleher. Good shape from Fulham. Risky pass from Kelleher into Jensen, who hits Lukic all over him on the back. Now get the first time to Van der Berg. Now it's over the top for Igo Thiago, who chests it away from Bassi. And then holds off the Nigerian defender. Lorenzo Ouattara. Just bundled to the turf. Here's Jensen. To Ouattara again. Ouattara looking to shift it back onto his left foot. Checks back on his right. Bassi throws himself to the turf, gets a free kick. Ouattara's frustrated. Does that a lot. Bassi, we've seen him. Throws himself to the turf. He's a big lad. I don't like to see it. I mean, he's won a free kick, so you can't blame him for it. He's now on his haunches, just to try and sell the free kick that's been given. Doesn't need treatment. No surprise. We'll continue. Leno just waving his defenders away. Fulham scored their last 2 games away from home. A draw at Forest and that 2-0 defeat last weekend to Liverpool. Can't really see where the deadlock's going to be broken at the moment. Probably a defensive mistake. Jensen back to Collins. Collins to Kelleher. He's got Rodrigo Moniz chasing him down. He gives it first time this time. Igor Thiago flicks it on. Sade beaten to it by Bassi. Ball's allowed to bounce. Smith Rowe trying to put a foot in, but the flag's raised up against the former Arsenal man. Ball over the top. Headed away by Castagna. Lukic goes to ground. Referee plays on. Wilson. Lovely switch of play towards Sessegnon in the left back position. He's played it first time up the line for Kearney. Chukwueze goes on the outside. Sessegnon drives into the middle. Here is Sessegnon. Sessegnon first time. Blocked by Van der Berg. That time he did go for it early and he got it all right. The defender was there to block it away. Ouattara, as he got there ahead of Bassi. Bassi does well just to get a foot in just chops it away from him, but now he's been caught in possession by Igor Thiago. Poked forwards, but not in the direction of Uatara. Fulham can recover. It's just been scrappy. It's been that kind of game. It's Brentford 0, Fulham 0 in the English Premier League. 7th against 12th. 3 points between the two sides. As we're in the race for European places come the end of the season. And what a season it's been so far. Such is the competitive nature of the Premier League. So many teams in contention. Here's Piarte over on the far side. Drifting in on his left foot. Works it back to Van der Berg. Now out to Uatara. Piarte's taking up a position inside the penalty area. Uatara gets on the outside of Bassi. Cross comes in, comes with the back of Schade. Bounces comfortably into the arms of Leno. Bowls it out. Bassi didn't want it there. And then Leno's had to force it quick and hurriedly up towards halfway. Cushion pass from Van der Berg. Jensen chips one over to this near side. Schade with a lovely header. Damsgaard first time! Oh, just the wrong side of the post. That would have been special from Damsgaard. Jensen with the long crossfield ball. The cushion header down from Schade. Damsgaard running onto it with his left foot. It was dropping. He just caught it slightly on the shin, on the inside of the shin, and it dropped a couple of inches past the near post. The closest we've come. Fulham are making some changes. Smith Rowe and Moniz are off. And in their place are King and Jimenez. So no surprise there. Double change. Raul Jimenez and Josh King. Freshen up the Fulham attack. As Brentford's just come closest to breaking the deadlock. They've had the game's best chances. Here's Schade again getting the better of Castagna. And then just gets a toe in to poke it out for a throw-in. It's the final quarter of this game. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. Here's Potter to Damsgaard. Just bounced awkwardly off his shin and up into the air. He's still battling for it. And Lewis Potter gets the touch in and he's brought down from behind by Wilson. Hopefully going to get a free kick here in a really promising position. They're just turning it up a notch now. Wilson frustrated. It's a necessary challenge. So he's given a free kick which Damsgaard and Jensen stand over. 10 yards left to the penalty area, 30 yards from goal. Fulham with a line just a couple of yards inside their 18-yard box. Fancy Jensen to take this one. Set-piece coach is marking instructions. Damsgaard stands over it. Jensen towards the far post. It's only just over the top of Collins' head. An inch or two lower. And they've had a free head on goal. It's a lovely delivery. Collins just underneath it. Almost inch perfect. Anderson long up towards halfway. Hooked on by Raul Jimenez. Back to the goalkeeper by Lewis Potter. He is lining up alongside Jimenez. It's going to be a front two for Fulham, it looks like. As Kelleher goes long. Thiago, who bounces awkwardly. Anderson nods it to Bassi, who flicks the outside of his boot to get out towards halfway. But here come Brentford again. There's Potter on this near side. Taking a run at Wilson. Teasing him with his left foot, cutting on his right, checking back on his left. Dinking across towards the far post, headed back in towards the mixer. Uatara beaten to it. Here's Coyote. Forced out wide, down by the corner flag. First time ball into the box from Jensen, too close to the goalkeeper. He gathers comfortably. Leno wants to get the ball out quickly. There's no one to get rid of it too. He drops in at his feet. Pass it short to Anderson. It's Castagna. Not sure that Lukic wanted the ball there. And then it goes to King. King really under pressure. Fulham have played their way out really well. Infield it goes to Raul Jimenez. First touch was nice, the second one turned straight into Nico Collins, who clears it away for a throw-in. 20 minutes to go in West London. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. It's Premier League lunchtime clash. Anderson, just outside his own area, just walking with the ball. To Castagna. Castagna's turned inside Sade. Jimenez has to come short to receive the ball, and Fulham bring pressure to putting the ball out of play again. This time a mistake from Lukic. Potter changing the ball he wants to throw into the box. So he decides to play a long throw in. Seen towards Igor Thiago. Goes to ground as Anderson gets a foot in. And yet again, this is Raul Jimenez. His first touch has not been great. That one straight out of play for a throw in. Now we're going to go for the long throw. Maybe across from the right-hand side to take it. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box. And Thiago taking up a position at the far post. Fulham with obviously everybody back inside their area. From Harry Wilson. It's towards the corner of the 6-yard boxes. Headed away. Not cleared by Raul Jimenez, who's caught one on the shin as he went to clear it away. It's going to be a free kick to Fulham. Andrews still resisting to make any changes. There wasn't many options for him on the bench. Certainly in an attacking sense. Reece Nelson probably the most likely player to come on. Otherwise, looking through it, it's actually defensive. Fulham again, almost the makers of their own downfall. Leno plays it into the feet of Lukic, who had Jensen and Sade right around his back, and he's forced the ball out. And Marco Silva's just telling him, just play the ball long. Brentford are all over him at the moment. They're fortunate to get away with another goal kick. And this time it does go long from Leno. Chukwueze beaten to it in the air. Uatara fits it on. Here goes Thiago. Jensen, a cushion volley up towards Damsgaard, who pulled it out of the air in the end, but couldn't find his teammate. Jensen again looking for the run of Igor Thiago. Too high that time. Too close to the goalkeeper. Only can turn. There's Lukic squeezing between two Brentford players. Goes to ground, referee waves play on as Chukwueze comes away with the ball. Lukic, space to run into in the middle of the park, and he's running at the Brentford back line. Tries to force one through again, a really poor pass. Tried to force it. The two teammates to aim for, and played it in between them both. And then throw it. That was Bassett. Anderson takes over just inside the centre circle. On to Castagna. It's rather slow and cumbersome from Fulham. Back to Leno, who's instructed to play it out towards Bassett. Bassett receives the ball. Over on the far side, just inside his own half. Infield to Anderson, who looks to switch the play over to this near side, and once again, way too much on it. And it's safely gone behind for a goal kick. To see Fulham test Kelleher in the Brentford goal. One shot on target. The ball goes long. It's a wrestling match. Surely that's a free kick. Anderson just threw Igor Thiago to the floor. He's trying to say something to the referee to explain why, but There's absolute, it was more something akin to a WWE match than a football field, but there we go. Free kick given. Taken quickly. Vincent into this near side. Damsgaard finds Potter. Lovely first touch from him. Potter, little step over. Goes on the outside. Plays the ball off Castagna. Wins a corner. He's frustrated with himself. He thought he was going to be in there. On the Brentford corner. Can they make this one count? Into the final 15 minutes here. Vanderberg and Collins make their way out from the back once more. Fulham again with everybody back inside their 6-yard box, barring Wilson. And there's going to be another flat whip delivery. This time from Jensen. Of movement around the penalty area. He is flicked on at the far post. Oh, he just needed the touch. Collins got ahead of his man at the near post, flicked it on. Not sure he was going for goal. He peeled away. No one picked him up. And Thiago is over his head. There was just too much on it as well for Uwatara, who's just coming in on the far side. Another nearly moment for Brentford. The best corner routine of the day so far. Still it remains goalless as Jimenez flicks it on. Vanderberg leads the ball and nods it back to the goalkeeper. And gets the return. 14 minutes plus added time for one of these two sides to find a goal and really make a statement in the race for European football. Brentford have a habit of scoring late goals. Liverpool have scored more in the final 15 minutes than them. 16 times they've scored late this season. Here's Damsgaard, nipping the ball well. He finds Igor Thiago, who's got support on the outside. Thiago, though, went for goal himself. It's blocked by Chukwueze. 1 point back for Thiago. And now Fulham force Brentford all the way back towards the halfway line. Collins to Damsgaard, opens up his body well. Infield to Potter, back up to Damsgaard, who flicks it over. The challenge of Wilson, who was rash, and surely that's a free kick, not given. And now Fulham could break. Kearney, back to Wilson. Wilson just caught by Lewis Potter. Stays on his feet, and Lewis Potter goes across to apologise. A bit of retribution in that one as Fulham to break down the other ends. Sessignon to Kearney, kicked by Lukic, and there's Wilson. Oh dear, he's tried to square it across when he had to go for goal. He was 6 yards out, completely unmarked. What are you doing? Well, Lukic just scooped it up, and Wilson coming across, he was on the corner of the 6-yard box. And he instead just decided to try and play it back across when there was no one there. Just in a replay of the challenge on Damsgaard by Harry Wilson. And it was an absolute shocking challenge. How it wasn't given as a free kick, I've never known. It should definitely have been a yellow card. It was such a bad challenge. And there we go. That's football for you. With the ball with Anderson. Slip there from Kearney, under pressure from Igor Thiago. And maintain possession. There's Kearney once more. To Chukwueze, who gives it to Igor Thiago. He fell over but recovered and gets possession back for his team. He looks absolutely shattered out there. And here goes Uwatara, sharding up with him. Jensen's making a run into the box as well. Uwatara goes for goal himself. It's tipped over by Leno. Tried to keep tried to catch the keeper out at the near post. And everyone was expecting a cross. It was going in. It needed to be tipped over. Brentford 0, Fulham 0. Into the final 11 minutes. there's a conversation taking place between Tierney and the Brentford captain Nico Collins. I wonder if that has anything to do with that challenge by Harry Wilson and Damsgaard earlier on. Meanwhile, we've got a corner here, which Artar will take. It'll be an in-swing up from the far side. So then they'll load bodies into the box. When I say the box, I mean the 6-yard box. Collins and Van der Berg. Now Igor Thiago on the backside of the goalkeeper. It's just in front of him, and it's a good punch from the keeper. The ball bounces over Jensen's head, and here goes Chukwueze, just runs out of play. Disappointed for him. He's failed to make an impact since coming on for Iwobi in the latter end of the first half, and Fulham going to make another double change momentarily. Anthony Robinson, it's going to be one or two that come on. Ryan Sessegnon has to be replaced. And Tom Kearney, the other man to make way. So Robinson will take up a position, and Oscar Bob, the former Manchester City man, youngster, coming to the middle of the park. Remaining 1.5 minutes plus added time. Can't say that Marco Silva's not gone for it. All those attacking options have come onto the pitch. Going to defend. Let's go back to Van der Berg. There's Collins. Time and space inside the centre circle. Shifts it out to the left-hand side for Jensen. Chips it all the way across towards the right-hand side of the pitch for Van der Berg. Just lost it momentarily in the sun before controlling it and laying it back to his goalkeeper. Jimenez half-heartedly going for a press. Here is the press from Bob, who's just come on. Jensen trying to hold him off. Manages to work the angle to get it back to the goalkeeper. Gets it out of his feet for the challenger Chukwueze to come in. Here's King trying to hope it over. No one in a Fulham shirt there though. Kelleher can bolt it out. Here's Van der Berg for Jensen. In the corner for Yarmolenko. Kick down the right hand side for Uwatara to chase. The ball bounces and skips off the turf. It's going to be a goal kick. It's been a story of the game, really. Skipping and spinning off the turf. And hanging. Jimenez lets it go across his body. Collins can just nod it back to the goalkeeper. And here's Van der Berg. Time running out for either side to find a winner. Van der Berg in field. Jensen. Damsgaard's found a bit of space. Time to wait for the attentions of Kearney. Damsgaard. To Lewis Potter. To Damsgaard once more. Kicked over the top, and here's Lewis Potter. Bob goes to close him down. Potter goes on the outside of him. Bob stands him up, pushes him to the floor, and gives away a free kick. Another chance for Brentford to get the ball into the box. It's not been pretty this afternoon. If either side here can get a late winner, it would be perfect. Damsgaard with Brentford's latest set-piece opportunity. Once again, Igor Thiago. Uwatara staying at the back post. Jensen with his delivery. 6 yards in from the byline. 12 yards to the goal line. Slipped in too close to the goalkeeper, who doesn't take a risk, just tips it away behind for a corner. I thought he was just going to come and claim it out the air. Did have a bit of whip, it was dipping. Probably going to drop in, you know. but certainly wasn't going to take any risks. It's going to be a corner on the far side. Brentford's 8th of the afternoon. Tar stands over this one. This one is up high hanging one. It's Damsgaard. Oh dear, he's got that all wrong. Lewis Potter was just behind him calling for it. It comes off the top of Damsgaard's head. And spoons away for a goal kick. It's probably not the player you'd want in that position. It's the final 5 minutes then in West London. West London derby. To Brentford of Fulham, goalless as it stands. Fulham yet to have a shot on target. Brentford, a couple of opportunities have gone begging. There's mostly Lewis Potter just before the break. Scooped over. An excellent layback from Sade. There's Bassey to Robinson. Just come on. Ball in towards the box. Cleared away. Damsgaard can play one over the top for Igor Thiago to chase, but Leno had a really good starting position and gets there first. Chukwueze. Infield to King. King can drive forwards. Chukwueze. And he's got Robinson up ahead of him. Chukwueze cross towards the far post, and Kelleher this time does grab it out in the air. Rolls it short. Yarmoliuk. To Kelleher. Emergency. So now for Potter. Just plays it off with Bob. To take the throw in. They don't seem to be in any rush to try and take the leads. And the whole host of clubs that are within the 3.1. That's a foul throw. Given, well, it has been given now. Delayed reaction from Paul Tierney. Potter literally just threw it straight to the ground. There's Bassey. There's it short to Anderson. Tries to close him down, so he's played back towards the goalkeeper Leno, who's 10 yards outside his own penalty area. On diagonal. Away by Van der Berg, victim by Iwatara. It's from Damsgaard, under pressure from Bassey. Wants a free kick, gets it on the halfway line. Tierney just explaining why he's given that decision. Loose bodies forwards. Off to the right hand side. It's played short by Coyote. It's Van der Berg to Coyote. Field to Jensen. Switch cross-field ball. Stretches out a leg. It's going to be a Brentford throw-in. With the 6-yard box over on this near side. Time is very much running out. To the final 2 minutes. It's a towel to wipe down the ball. Will this be the set piece that counts? The arm is raised. Launches it towards the 6-yard box. It's come through. It's come off the face of Bassey. He knew nothing about that, and it's cleared away. Yarmoliuk will guide it back towards the goalkeeper. It's Igor Thiago. He got the flick on it. It just hit Bassey square in the face. It was destined for the back of the net. Ball over the top. Raul Jimenez, keeper comes. Hasn't got there. And really good defending by Coyote just to muscle him off. Just for a minute there, it looked like Jimenez was going to be in. End-to-end stuff to end the game. Damsgaard made a great run into the channel, but the ball was played short instead. Here's Van der Berg to Coyote. To exchange passes once more before it's swept out to Collins, back with Kelleher. Good pressure there from Bob. And he'll go long. Diago towards the right-hand side. Played by Anthony Robinson. It's a nice bit round the corner. Well watched by Robinson. With Jensen on the halfway line. Looking for the diagonal ball out to Potter. Well watched by Jimenez, who's inexplicably in the right-back position. There's Bob. Infield. Anderson wasn't seeing Igor Thiago coming from behind, and he's played in Potter. Potter, not much to aim for. Gets it across. Oh, what a save from Leno. That is just preserved Fulham's clean sheet. Uwatar, for the third time, is denied by the Fulham number one. Well, Lewis Potter didn't have much to aim for. He cut it back for Uwatar, who was falling backwards, but hit it sweet enough on his left foot, or maybe his right foot. It was sliding, it hit both feet. It was point blank, and Leno just put his hands above his head. It flicked off the top of his fingers, went over the top. And Brentford agonisingly close to breaking the deadlock. We're going to have 6 added minutes here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. And right now it's all about Leno. And what a save that was. And there's another free header, and it's just flashed past the post. Collins again on the edge of the 6-yard box. Brentford just haven't been able to make these set pieces count. Collins free again. This time it drops just a foot so wide of that far post. What a save from Leno. Diving, he didn't know where the ball was going to go. It was just reactionary. It came off the inside of his left hand. Up and over the top. And it's still 0-0. As Collins is forced to play the ball out for a throw into Fulham. Could they snatch it here? Stanya will take this throw in. Time running out for Fulham and Brentford to get a crucial late winner here. Stanya just waiting for players to come up from the back. Then he plays it short instead. There's Robinson. Rolls his foot over the ball, waiting for movement, and then chips one towards the back post. Bassi across the face of goal. Well, that's what the intention was. Just skimmed into the side of the goal instead. And that will be a goal kick. And Brentford will be kicking themselves that they're not ahead in this game. Leno has been named player of the match. Quite sure why. I mean, that save was spectacular, but the other 2 saves he's had to make have hardly been anything other than routine. And it's a match performance according to those who make those decisions. For me, Anderson for Brentford has definitely been the standout player. Nice foot in, there's Bob. Bob again has made the run in behind. Bob looking to go on the outside of Lewis Potter. Shows him the nice clean pair of legs. Potter just swipes at them. Brings him down, gives away a free kick. Into the 4th added minute. Referee Paul Tierney just telling Bob he needs to take it from the right place. Anderson and Bassi up from the back again. Opportunity now for Fulham to win it. Wilson comes over. As we said, the delivery needs to be better from Lukic if he's to take it. Bob runs away, takes a position on the edge of the area. It is Wilson to float it in. It's going to fall for Bob, who hits it. It skews away behind for a goal kick. And there's a chance from an earlier corner. I thought it hit Bassi in the face. It actually hit Igor Tudor in the face, Igor Thiago in the face. Not the former Tottenham manager Igor Tudor. The Brentford striker Igor Thiago booked his own player's shot. That's the first replay I've seen of that, as Lewis Potter's bundled over, but the free kick's gone against him. He's frustrated with Paul Tierney. I know, just waving players away. Anderson will take this free kick, will he? He won't. He'll just flick it forward to another couple of yards before taking it. Everyone runs away. Anderson, crossfield ball. Chukwueze flicks it on. That's picked up by Chiade. Or Thiago gets there ahead of Bassi. Help forwards, but away by Anderson. Damsgaard tries to scoop the ball across towards Ouattara. Cleared away by Anderson. Throw into Brentford, into the final, the 6 added minutes. Collins has to go back to his goalkeeper. Good pressing and chasing from Wilson. Long from Kelleher, away back the other way by Bassi. Flicks on well by King. And there's beaten to it. And Bassi does well to win the throw-in off Coyote. Looks like it is going to be a point apiece. It's going to be 5 consecutive draws for Brentford. For the first time in 70 years. Barring something crazy in this last 30 seconds. Damsgaard gets his head onto it. Knocked on. Flick round the corner by Thiago. Damsgaard tries to force it through. Too much on it, and in the wrong direction. There's Castagna. Going up the line. Not too much on it for Bob. Potter waits for the goalkeeper. Still goes long and away, and there is the full-time whistle. 6 minutes of added calls, and 6 minutes of added time is exactly what we got. It's finished goalless here in West London. Nothing to separate the two sides. Brentford will feel that they probably did the more to win the game. Ouattara denied by point-blank range late on by an excellent save from Leno. Not much in the way of chances Fulham's way. They had bright moments, particularly in the latter stage of the first half, but never really troubled Kelleher in the Brentford goal. So it's goalless in the race for Europe in the West London derby. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope to see you again real soon. The full-time score is Brentford 0, Fulham 0.